Most people stay broke in a job they're not passionate about in their 30s, 40s because they treat their job like a marriage instead of a business transaction. They think human resources is their friend. That loyalty pays off. Just work hard and money will come. They're wrong. And it's costing them hundreds and thousands of dollars in their desired career over their lifetime. I'm exposed the truth behind human resources, why 40% of the job postings are fake, why the salary ranges are a lie, and the exact techniques you need to negotiate your salary as a pro. Let the game begin.
Is HR cares about employees the biggest lie in corporate America?
Well, it's not a lie. That's the thing. HR, you gotta understand, HR is not an ONG. They get paid. They get directions. And they gotta make it happen. If management just comes one day and say, like, you gotta fire the whole department because we have no budget, they have to do it. They don't have another option. They're not an ONG. It's not a scam because they do care about people, of course. They're the ones that recruit people. They're the one that you go if there's like a conflict within the company, but they are going to protect first the company.
So would you say that actually HR is not fundamentally broken, but actually is as it's supposed to be designed?
There's a lot of things to change in HR, of course. And the thing right now in today's market, it's that human resources has lost the human portion of it. And that's where a lot of people will tend to go your way and think like, this is a scam.
Mm-hmm.
They're ghosting me on recruitment process.
Mm-hmm.
They treat me very bad. But HR right now, in most of companies, is not like what it used to be 20 years ago, that it was like one person department. Mm-hmm. Now it's a huge organization that it's divided into many, many areas. Recruitment, payments, benefits, it changes. And it's so big that it's different for every area. You get the idea?
Yeah, so break me down in like 3 to 4 things that you would change tomorrow if you would be in charge of HR.
You're talking about human resources. What's the first word that you're hearing? Human. People have feelings. People have thoughts. People have desperation. People have bills to pay. What are you sensing there? You got to take care of people. Of course, they're the ones that are making the revenue happen in your company. You may want to pay less for them, and that's completely wrong. But you got to take care of your assets. People are not robots, and people are not slaves to your company. People are people. We have feelings. We get tired. We get desperate. We get frustration. I will bring back that. And there's a lot of confusion into a lot of human resources department right now that are just lost. And they don't understand why their retention rate is like 20%. Why the people just stay with the company 1 year or less than a year. Are you actually even looking inside your company and understanding what your people is telling you that it's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Or you just thinking that it's them that they are the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you the problem? And most of the companies don't think they are the problem, let me tell you that. And that's the biggest issue. Employees are assets. Employees are the ones that are making the revenue happen. It's not just the CEO or the owner with a great idea. You need your people. You need your sales manager. You need your brand developer. You need your copywriter to make things happen. It's not that easy.
So break down in 4 things that you would change, for instance.
Bring back humanity. Understand the people. Understand their needs and value them. All within the humanity bucket. This will change entirely how the market operates. Because right now everything's so driven into just grow, 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 grow. When are they going to stop?
It's pretty interesting what you're saying, right, about bringing back humanity.
Yeah.
Because as a matter of fact, in today's world, there is this mental health crisis in the workplace, right?
Yeah.
Is this because we are trying to find purpose in a mechanism, a job, that is only designed to generate profit? Where is the balance?
The balance, it's non-existent nowadays. And the thing is that there are no boundaries today. If you check on the statistics of companies in Japan, it's crazy. People are dying in their workplace. People just...
like burnout.
No, they're literally dying. They're literally dying because they work so much. They're burnout. At their point, they have a depression. They feel that they're not enough. And they're dying. And this is... I don't know why it's not more public, but it's happening. And it have happened for the last, I don't know, 20, 15 years. And it's happening right now because their expectations of a human turns to be more into a robot and things like they're gonna be a robot. And I'm just gonna pay them and they gotta make always this and make it happen. However, it's possible. Forget about the humanity. Forget about they need to eat. Stuff like that simple. They need to eat. They need to have a space to go to the bathroom that it's close to them. Stuff like that. And companies are not even looking into those small things. How is it possible that people are dying while working?
So yeah, burnout is affecting us. This is this
Yeah.
mental crisis that is going crazy. It's going wild. The thing is that how can we manage this? Like, how can we change business culture in order to take actually care?
The thing is this. So when you start growing up, you go to high school and you have like the same train that everybody's told to follow. Finish high school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, get a life. You can follow that train, of course, but that train um, it's being set by the society, by the world, by the companies. So you either decide your path or life decides the path for you. And same goes for companies. You either decide where your mental peace is gonna be, or the companies will decide where it is.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, companies don't care about that. They might have like a program of well-being and stuff like that. Yeah, that's just like a compliance stuff. But do you actually get well-being while being burnout, working 12 hours a day just to meet expectations? So it's also your responsibility to find your own path and your own peace. And that's where it gets more deep because there's also a lot of pressure in society. There's a lot of pressure in different countries around the world. You see the Korean culture, and it's crazy how they're so desperate to always be the best. Everybody has to be the best from high school, from college, in the work culture, physically. They get operated and stuff. It's crazy. It's nuts. But you have to be the best. And if you're not the best, you're useless. Do you think that's correct? Do you think that actually makes sense in the well-being of a human being? No, of course not. How are you gonna waste your life thinking that I just gotta be the best in a company? Where's your identity? Where are you as a human that actually have skills and value? You're losing yourself. Decide your path, or any company will decide it for you. Decide your faith, or companies will decide it for you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? Because at the end of the day, of course, internally, we're always looking for being the best, right?
Yeah.
But there's a limit.
Yeah, and there's a confusion because people say it's like, I'm not gonna be the best for a company. I'm just gonna work at about 60% and get my paycheck. You could do that, but don't come back to me 10 years later telling me that you have depression because you're tired of being on the same place. So you're giving them the same thing that they're giving to you. Now, being good at your job and having actually work ethic, it's for you. It's not for the company. Because if you leave the company and you actually give it your 100% and you develop skills, well, that's good. You might give it like a good revenue to the company, but now you're taking what you built somewhere else.
For you, what is a good work ethic?
Good work ethic applies for everything. It applies if you want to go to the gym. It applies if you want to start to be an entrepreneur, for example, if you want to create content. You gotta have work ethic. And work ethic for me, it's a combination of a lot of stuff. Discipline, self-worth, just go for it. Like literally, just go for it. But have a plan. If not, you're gonna fall into a pit of frustration and desperation. That's work ethic. And work ethic, this is so important, but work ethic, it's for you. It's gonna save you from yourself and from who you are and from who you want to be. That's work ethic. Make your work ethic happen. People sometimes don't have or don't even know about that word or that combination of words of work ethic. They're just like, okay, this is my faith. This is what I'm going to do. And then I'll just get a family and then 2 kids and then credit and then 2 credits, 2 cars. And then you're just, that's it. Your life is done.
Mhm.
if you have work ethic, you're actually building something for you. You're your own company. Think of it as like that. You're your own company, and you're building something new every day. But you need to have work ethic. It goes way past beyond your 9 to 5. And if you have a company, if you're building a company, you could understand the work ethic that comes with that. 9 to 5 is good. And if you want to build something else, you gotta do it past 9 to 5. And that's gonna take a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, and a lot of loneliness.
Mhm.
But that path will lead you to a peaceful life because you're working on yourself. And that applies for every job that you're looking for. You need to find which company leads you to that path that you're looking for, that path of you that you want actually in your life.
So yeah, that's tough for me, because actually, as you may know, or as much as you had known me, I'm such a workaholic. I'm
Yeah.
always working hard,
Yeah.
So maybe for me, like being focusing and having like this healthy work ethic that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes for me it's difficult, right? Because I focus so much that I'm so sacrificed.
Yeah, of course.
How can I handle that? I
What
mean,
do you
it's
mean?
obsession. I mean, sometimes
That's it. That's the word. You gotta be obsessed to become the best. You cannot just say like, "Oh yeah, I would like to learn something new," and you purchase a course and then it's sitting there in your laptop browser. I don't know. But if you're obsessed to build something, that's what you're gonna eat. That's what you're gonna think when you sleep. That's what you're gonna do all day. And you have it in your mind and you know what you want. You gotta be obsessed. That's it. It's either one way or the other. You stay where you are in a pitiful desperation path, or you're obsessed into becoming something new every day. Is it wrong? It depends. It's
on
it's
what?
it's different for everybody. And let's talk about well-being. Because think about two ways, two buckets. If you're building your company, you gotta go this way. You gotta be obsessed. You gotta put the extra hours. You gotta put the work. But if you have a job, why cannot also do the same? Oh, because you're gonna say like, oh no, yeah, because I just have a salary. This is like my job description, and this is what I have to do. Okay, and then let's go back to your work ethic.
Mhm.
Are you just trying to be a job description? Is that your identity? Or you're actually trying to build something else? You can do it in both ways. Even if you're like a company owner or if you're building something new, just put in the work.
Mhm.
Make it happen. It doesn't matter if you're a junior, a mid, or a senior employee. Make it happen. That's what actually makes a difference in an employee. You can see that from the very first beginning, from the very first interview. When you talk to them, what do you want in 5 years? Simple question. If they know the answer, you know they have a path. If they don't have an answer, they're just hoping lives gives them a path. But if you actually get asked that question, you need to understand what's the company, if it actually matches your values, and answer with honesty. Like, yeah, this is a great company. I just see myself growing as an individual and as a professional, and I'm aiming to get as high as I can.
Mhm.
It's broad, right? It's broad. It goes straight to the point. And in 5 years, I see me growing in my skill set. Yeah, I want to be a manager. I want to be a director. I want to be the one that makes decisions. But you got to understand who you are. And if that's you, if you're a software engineer and you just want to work in numbers and you just want to stay on the same lane for 5 years, that's okay. That's completely fine. You can get your stable job and just be there. That's all good. Everybody will respect that. But in order to answer that question, you need to answer yourself, what do I want?
David, let's say that I want to be a VP, for instance, or I
Yeah.
want to be a manager.
Yeah.
So you're always talking about winning the game, making a plan. So what would be that plan in order to get in that level, in that position?
I always tell people two things. Dreamers dream. Doers do. If you go and you talk to any VP or the president of the company, and you ask them, how many hours do you sleep every day? Oh, you're going to get an interesting answer because they put in the work. They didn't get there just because. And you check their resume and it's amazing. They're not getting a 1 million a year salary just because. You know, they got there because they worked their asses off to get there. You got to also put in the work. Either, as I mentioned before, either if you're looking to build a company or either if you're aiming to a 1 million a year salary, make it happen. You got to make it happen. Decide your path. What's it going to be? What's it going to cost? And how long is it going to take me to get there? But being on that level is not easy. And it brings you a lot of discomfort in your life, a lot of hours, a lot of sleepless nights, as I said before. But you got to make it happen.
The other day I was reading this statistic that says that more than 75% of CVs are never seen by a human eye.
Yeah.
Are we just screaming into a void controlled by a broken algorithm? Is this AI or what?
It's crazy because we live in a crazy market. And if you think more like in the tech industry, it's crazier because, of course, you're using AI. Of course, they're using an applicant tracking system, an ATS, that you may know of a lot of. And all of this is optimized in order to make revenue. What we are talking at the beginning, like companies just want to make the most revenue with the least expensive in tools, in people. That's what it is. So that statistic is actually true in a lot of senses, but you can go and play against that. Check those resumes. They're bad formatted. They have the worst explanation of their experience. They don't look good. And they don't explain anything. They don't explain who the person is, who the individual is, and why are they actually applying to just jobs. Making that small difference will click. It could change that statistic into a whole other level. Let's go back again to the same thing. I've been talking about this all the video. Make a strategy. Play the game. Win the game.
So is the current system actually designed to find the best talent, or is it just rewarding the people who know how to play the game?
No. So that's a good question. The current system is made for the company. Understand that. It's made for the company to help the company get the candidate that they need and that they want. Right? Now, it is not made to just disqualify everybody, but people will get disqualified if they don't know how to apply for the job, if they don't have a good resume, if they don't search for the company, if they didn't like their homework. That's it. It's simple. People will get just disqualified right away. Tools nowadays are just like into the optimization world with AI. So it's simple to just like put your resume, and that's why you sometimes get like a disqualifying email 5 minutes later. Because it read it through. It doesn't have keywords. It doesn't have job experience or years of job experience that are being said in the job description. So automatically, it's like I don't like this. The company doesn't need it. It's not moving forward. But what if you change that?
Let's break down into 5 steps to get the best resume ever.
So first step, put your information, no picture. Then put a nice summary that it's detailed for the job description. Put your interests. You can put your interests, like small interests that are aligned to the job description. Then your job experience, company, title, and the years that you were there. And then like bullet points, great bullet points that are aligned in telling actually a story of how are you a good match for the position. After that, you can put your education. Right? Put your education, put your bachelor's or master's degree there. You can actually not put the year that you graduated. That's okay. And at the end, you can put your certifications. That's it. That's a good resume. Simple, straightforward. And if you are like more into design, graphics, and all, just attach your portfolio. Don't make the resume your portfolio because that's so messy. That's it. 5 steps. There you go.
Your job is a transaction. Learn to negotiate with advantage. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course. You need to learn how to negotiate. You're selling yourself. You gotta use sales tactics when you're selling into a new position, into a new company. You gotta learn those sales tactics. Get there. If not, you're just betting against the market and hoping things go the right way.
So, if you could go back and renegotiate your first job offer, knowing what you know now, what would change?
I'll probably tell myself, don't get that job. That's the first thing. Don't go there. They will traumatize you. But for the sake of this, learn my value. But first understand what that company was. Why am I getting here? I don't even like this. I will renegotiate flexibility. I'll renegotiate what I want, what I need, but actually knowing if it's good for me. I guess that's the first thing.
Yeah. Even the salary, right?
Yeah, of course.
So why do we think we've been conditioned to feel guilty about asking for more money?
And that's a great question. But what happens nowadays, and I see this every day, is that people don't know two things: market value for a position, let's say, that they're applying for, and their value. You're valuable. You're a great person. You got to learn your skills, and every skill has a value. Every job experience, every hard skill, every soft skill has a value. But that people don't do that self. Like they don't test themselves. They don't search inner to understand who they are and what they are and what they actually give into a company. Knowing these two things will give you the confidence to actually go into a job interview and say like, hey, I know you guys are paying this, or I know your competitors are paying this X amount, and I have what you're looking for, and this is what I want. This is my minimum salary. But you also need to be in charge of that and know, don't go like less than that. Don't go less than what you need, what you are. Because if you just accept a lower salary, that's it, you lose.
So what's the first step to stop accepting a low pay just because you're passionate about your job?
Passion is good, but passion doesn't pay rent. Passion will never pay the bills. And that's a good thing. But in order for you to negotiate your salary, you need to come prepared. You need to have data. When you're negotiating with an interviewer or with the hiring manager, you need to have the market data, company data, and references. Why? Because you cannot say like, yeah, I want $1 million just because I feel that's my value. Okay, again, you're a valuable person. Everybody has their own internal value. That's great. But when it comes to a job, you gotta do your work. You gotta do your homework. You gotta search. You gotta check what's happening. Even like going into, I don't know, use AI, use Gemini, just use deep search and ask like, hey, what's the average salary in New York for a software engineer? It's like you get a whole breakdown. Use that into your advantage with your skills and tell to the company that you're applying for, hey, I know your competitors are paying this. This is what I want. If you don't have the budget, make the budget. I love to say that, but if you don't have the budget, is there any way around that you can check for more than what you're offering me? Because I feel it's not enough based off from my skills. That you will get amazed, but not a lot of people do that. They just accept their fate. Like that's it. People come to me and are like, "Oh yeah, that's okay." 3 months later, they're actively applying for a new job. And is that okay? No, of course not. That's going to impact your resume. Like with a 3 month gap in this company. Why? Oh, because I didn't do my homework. Make the difference. You gotta make the difference. And there's not a lot of people coming to me with this data. And when they come, I just get astonished. Because that's great work. That's great homework.
So if work is a transaction, what are the terms of the deal that nobody is reading?
Nobody's reading the market. That's it. No, everybody thinks just words on a job description, but nobody's actually reading what's happening. You see a job posting and you don't understand why they're actually posting that. You just think, yeah, they need to pay me because I have what they need. Now, what happens if you apply, you go through all the process, but you didn't do your research, and it turns out it's a startup and it doesn't have financing or budget, and 6 months later, you're fired. You lost all the interview process, you lost money, you're going again back into the market. That makes a difference.
So, I mean, like your job is a transaction, right?
Yeah.
It means there are techniques to excel in every single area of it.
Yeah, of course.
What would be those areas?
Understanding this is the easy part. Executing it is where most people fail. At Atlas Talent Solutions, we walk with you from day one until you land the job you've been chasing. Ready to get started? Book a call. Link in the description. Learn your skills. Learn your soft and learn your hard skills. And always learn how to connect both. And you'll tell me how. They're completely different. No, they're not. If you're an IT solution specialist, you have to have your hard skills as a software engineer and your soft skills to connect with people and actually sell. You can make it happen. Those are the tactics. Play with what you have and with what you can actually build. If you hate connecting with people, then maybe sales is not for you. But maybe numbers and data and engineering, that's for you. But you got to play with the tactics. You got to play with what you like and what the market likes.
We feel the weight on the market crushing us. Inflation, AI, layoffs. You use the metaphor of the Titan Atlas.
Yeah,
How do we hold up this weight without breaking our backs?
great stuff. But what will break you will make you stronger. And I live by that. And when it comes to today's day, everything is so overwhelming. Social media is so overwhelming. The news are so overwhelming. The year started with crazy information happening between two countries. That's rough. Of course, everybody's like scared. Are you gonna let that lead you? Or are you gonna make the difference and create a plan? Are you actually put the work in to be who you wanna be? To be the employee that you wanna be, or be the owner of the company that you wanna be? Make the difference. Everything will be always overwhelming. It's not like it's just only today. Like 80-ish years ago, there was a world war going on. Did that actually stop the world? No, it kept going. So you have two ways. You can either make the difference, do your homework, do your research, be better, or just stay there in comfort. Is that okay for you? Okay. Me personally, I like to work my ass off and be better every day. 1%. Maybe there's days 0.5. But I'm always growing to be better.
Yeah, I get it. I want to be the best, you want to be the best, but the fact is, most people in their 30s feel stuck.
Yeah.
You say there are precise techniques to prosper even when the market is crushing. But is there like a cheat code to make things easy?
I'm going to give you a rough example. First of all, there's no cheat code, but this example is rough. And it's hard to process it, and it's hard to understand the market. It's a very complex system. And let's think about stocks. Let's think about how money works, right? When bad things happen, people make money out of it. Was that a cheat code? Not exactly. They did their research, and they knew that something bad was going to happen, and they bet against the market, and they make money out of it. Does that mean that a bad situation leads to a bad outcome? No. A bad situation can actually make you money, for this example, or actually turn you to a new person. Now, there's no cheat code. There's no easy way. There's no guru that will save you. There's no course that will actually make you win $1 million.
So if there's no cheat code, is there like one skill that will make me on fireball in 2026?
Yeah, work ethic. Get your work ethic. If you have your work ethic, you will go online and see, how can I be better? Just Google that. How can I be better? You will get results of udemy.com. Get trained on Python. You will get Coursera.com. Get this 90-minute course on how to get certified in Amazon AWS. That will make you better. Is that a cheat code? It could be. It's not that expensive. $30, 90 minutes or 3 hours, and you get that certification. That would add value to your resume, to your salary. Of course. Make it happen.
I want to know the secret. What's one thing you wish someone had told you before you started job hunting?
Oh, yeah, that's a lovely, great question. But I wish when I was younger for actually just come to me and tell me, David, life is too short. but there's only one life. Find a way to make money that you actually kind of enjoy and that you can be there for a while. What you enjoy not always will make you money, but if you have a lifetime of being stuck in a bachelor's degree that it's not for you, then that doesn't make any sense. Not at all. That's the first thing that I would love to have heard when I was 17, 18 years old.
And maybe that would change people's mentality, right? Because now ghosting used to be a dating term. Now it's a corporate standard.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were talking earlier about how the system is built, but the system sometimes get overwhelmed, right? Like when you're dating somebody and they're like overwhelmed with you and they just ghost you. That's how the system works, actually. They get 1,000 applicants. And they're like, you might be good, you might not be good, but I don't have time for this. That's how ghosting happened. And it's terrible. That's how people fall into frustration. Like, oh yeah, this is the role. I have all the skills that they're looking for. You apply, 1 week pass, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You're like, oh my God. Then I'm the problem. You're not the problem. The system is the problem. Now ghosting, it's a frustrated situation happening right now. And don't put your value into that. If a company is ghosting you, it's because they don't have their things right. And you can just picture that if that's not right, how it would be if I get hired, what internal mess they have that they cannot have the time to just reply to a candidate. Hey, we decide not to move forward, or we actually are having the position on hold. We don't have a budget right now. Just tell me. That's it. Simple.
Gotcha, but why do companies think it's acceptable to ghost candidates after a lot of interviews?
It's not acceptable. That's the thing. The companies are overwhelmed. So you might be talking to one recruiter for one position, but that same recruiter could be handling 20 positions at the same time. So 20 positions and like 1,000 applicants per position, that's a lot of applicants. So sometimes, yeah, definitely sometimes it's their fault, but on other situations, it's just like their internal system is not well situated or optimized. Pro candidates, of course. What's going to make revenue for the company? The actual hired, not the candidates.
Give me a piece of advice. How do I mentally handle the rejection of silence without letting it destroy my confidence?
You got to understand what we were talking at the beginning. Companies are to make money. Human resources is caring about the company's project, the company's money. Know your worth, know that you're more than just a piece of paper. That's your project. That piece of paper called resume, it's your project. That's what you're selling. That's your sales pitch. But you're human and you have values. So it doesn't matter if they reject you. Just see what's wrong, change what needs to be changed, and make it happen. But don't fall into frustration. That's what the market wants. A frustrated person that will apply to a random job and get a random salary.
Understood. Now let's break into job postings.
Yep.
Right. The other day I was reading that 40% of job postings are fake. Have you ever heard about ghost jobs, or is it just like a conspiracy?
Yeah, of course. That's actually interesting because in the HR world, that's called evergreen. Always green, always posted. Why? Because companies wants to have pipeline there, talent there, just ready from when they need it. And people see those evergreens. They don't know that they're evergreens or fake jobs. They're just gathering resumes. This could be used internally for two things: getting pipeline, always for them, or just getting market info. Like how many people I have available for software engineer in New York or Wisconsin. Those are the two things.
Man, but why are companies allowed to lie us on such a massive scale?
Everything is a law in war. So there's not a law that will prevent that to happen. This is war. This is a strategic game. Is that bad? No. Is that good? No, either. So it's not that they're allowed, but that's a way for them to know numbers, to get people available in their system. Now you got to play the way around that.
That's the whole purpose. I mean, like, what are they really doing with all the data they are collecting from these fake applications?
Many things, honestly. The first thing could be just gathering market information, understanding how many people it's available, or they could be asking questions in these jobs like, what's your salary? They automatically know how much people is asking for just because of that, or they could just have pipeline. They're always available. It just reached to them when they need it, but now it's not the time. Of course, it's frustrating. Is it good? Not really. Is it bad? Not either.
Yeah, but it's life, right? So how do I spot a ghost job? What are the red flags that says this position doesn't actually exist?
That's tricky. You gotta be into the system of HR to understand that. But there's a couple things you can be looking at it. If you go to a job board and you see a job posted for 90 days, why? 3 months they cannot hire somebody? That's one thing. If you go to a job post and it says that it has over 100 applicants, that's a lot of people. And they cannot pick one, be persuasive about it. Read a little bit between lines.
Our parents stayed in their jobs for 30 years. Now there is this job hopping culture, which
Yeah.
means staying in a job for more than 2 years in 2026 is a financial mistake. What do you think about it?
Also, a tricky question. I will not say it's a financial mistake, but for some people, it could be actually a financial idea. Why? You may say, like, I have a lot of examples, but you could be at a company for 30 years, expecting just to slowly grow year by year, dollar by dollar. Or what if in 1 year you develop your skills to the next level and another company is offering you double X the amount of salary that you have? What's the financial investment there? So think about it.
Yeah, because there is this statistic that says job hoppers earn 50% more over their lifetime.
Yeah, of course. Like you have a job, think about it. It's not ideal, but think about it. You have a job for a year, you learn all the skills of that job. Now, after a year, you're a mid. You go to another company, another year, you develop even more skills, more projects, more clients. You get into a mid senior level. 2 years just by changing your environment. That's how you double your salary. Is it good? It could affect your resume. You have to think about that.
So, is there ever a good reason to stay at one company for more than 5 years?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I could talk from my experience, but great companies will make you just stay there. Because at the end, money is good, money is important. But what if you're winning a lot of money on a toxic environment, on a no health benefits environment, no well being that we were talking at the beginning? Like, is it worth the amount of money that I'm getting? Do I want to suffer and just lose my mental health because of it? Or win a little bit less, but have a great company, a great culture that I feel that I can grow with time? That makes the difference.
What advice would you give to someone who's been underpaid at the same company for a decade?
If you're being underpaid and you know that you're being underpaid, you gotta do something about it. You either stay there, you confront your manager or owner of the company, it depends on the size, confront them and tell them, hey, I've been here for a while and I need more money. If they're not able to see your value as an employee and everything that you've given to the company, all those extra hours that they never paid, well, I think you gotta look the other way
Mhm.
into another company.
What do you think that would happen if everyone started job hopping every 2 years?
Well, a lot of talent's doing that, but let's think about 100% of the talent
Yeah.
doing that. That will break the entire system right away. Everybody's just hoping into another place. They cannot even ask for a 3 year stability because everybody's just changing. That will break the market, of course. And how do companies avoid that? By not accepting those offers, by not saying yes to the job offers.
Gotta be a balance, right?
Of course.
Now let's break into the salary secrets. Let's get
Okay.
into the sauce. The truth is, the salary range posted on LinkedIn is a lie.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the posted range and the real budget?
That's good. That's good. And most people don't know about that. But when a company posts a position, and if they are publicly just adding the salary, that's not the real salary. Why? Because they need a range to play. Why? Because they need to offer you the less amount of money possible. Why? Because there's something called ROI, which is the return of investment. So there's got to be a return of investment of you as an employee once you're into the company that can actually let you stay there for a while, right? But if you do the research, you can actually break a little bit that range. How? Learn about the company, learn about the competitors, how much are they paying, what's their revenue. If you're able to get that in the negotiation stage, you just confront them like, hey, no, yeah, this is what I am. This is what your competitors are paying. This is my range. And I think it's not aligned to you. Can you make it happen? Can you make actually those 10 extra K happen? Then you're going to be hearing about them. You can hear the red flags. If they're like, no, we don't have any budget. Or if they see your value, they will go to the manager and ask for that. And I've seen stories about that happening all the time.
So now that we know there's like this secret number
Yep.
in the hiring manager's pocket, how do I find what's the number before I say a word?
Yeah, I love that. That's just sales tactics. You gotta pick your approach. Me personally, I just go straight into it. Like, look, hiring manager, let's just break the ice. This is what I want. I know you have more money. Can you actually make it happen? That's a very aggressive and direct approach, of course. Nobody wants to do that because you don't want to lose the job. The other approach, as a data-driven approach, hiring manager, can you actually make this happen? Check this. This is the value I'm bringing. This is the research I've done. Can you get me those 10, 20K extra? You know my value, and you know I can actually make it happen. Are you going to make it happen?
How would the hiring change if candidates knew the real maximum budget from day one?
I guess that will also change a little bit the market because people will take their skills seriously. They will actually turn into a pro into those skills.
So, what is the psychological barrier that stops us from asking for what we are actually worth?
Fear. Fear of not getting what we want. And that fear could make you stay in a company for a long time just because you had fear from the beginning. But there's thousands of companies in the world. Are you afraid for one not giving you the job? Or are you willing to keep searching for the right one? Are you driven by fear, or are you driven by the path that you actually want to get?
So let's put fear aside. How do I look so valuable? The company would be more than happy to negotiate.
Be prepared. Make it happen. If you get into the entire interview process and from the very first beginning you're shy, you're just lost, you don't know what your value is, and you don't know how it's actually going to be into the job, then they're just going to give you whatever they want. But if from the very first beginning of the interview, you're just opening, connecting with people, you make your work happen. If you have on-site interviews, you're on top of your game and just connecting. Hey, I'm David. Oh, yeah, this is nice. You can compliment everything. The water fountain, this is so cool. I like this. But that's gonna make a difference. Even if you're not gonna get into a sales position or like a people position, but that's gonna make you connect with them. That makes a difference. The connection. That's what they're looking for. A fantastic candidate.
So let's play a versus. What's the biggest reason I am underpaid?
Okay.
Believing in the budget or asking for more?
Believing in the budget, because there's always more.
Believing in the budget or lack of negotiation skills?
Lack of negotiation skills. If you don't know how to play the game, the game is going to play you.
Lack of negotiation skills or lack of market knowledge?
Market knowledge. If you don't know what's happening, that's it. You lose.
Lack of market knowledge or staying too long?
Staying too long. Staying too long will not get you anywhere.
Staying too long or waiting for recognition?
Staying too long. Waiting for recognition is never going to happen.
So this or that. Staying too long or leaving too soon?
That's a good one. Leaving too soon.
Leaving too soon or job security?
Leaving too soon. That's going to affect your profile so much in your resume.
Leaving too soon or mental health?
Mental health. If you're leaving too soon, well, I can understand if the environment is toxic, but always pick your mental health.
Mental health or passion project?
Passion project is good if you have a great idea working on the side, but you remember you gotta get that revenue going, but always secure your mental health. If this is not right, everything else is not right.
Mental health or tremendous salary?
Oh, mental health. There's no amount of work and amount of money that will give you the peace of mind. If you have peace of mind and a good salary, you have a great life. Views can depend, but think about it.
Mental health or immediate promotion?
Mental health. Immediate promotion, it's attached to a lot of things in different companies that you may not like to get there. Pick your mental health. Always take care of that.
Thank you for your time, David.
Thank you. Have a good one. Okay, jag tanto mycket. Stop playing by the rules. Start playing to win. If companies still ghost you before the interview, you're looking for a change in your career or simply tired of your actual job. Is it a time to change the game rules? And I can help you with that. Go now and schedule a call 101. Link in the description. Because your future deserves it.